Welcome to the Big D streams, or should I say the late stream with the Big D. And this is the first live stream the Big D has done in a little while. It was the Fulham match. The Big D was last talking to you guys, and the Big D has missed his fans, his watchers, his followers, and his subscribers. And it's been an interesting time being a Manchester United fan. Interesting and weird, really. All that hope that we had during the summer with all those fantastic signings seems to have dissipated already. And we're only 3 games in to the new season. This is strange stuff indeed. But you guys know how this works. If you like this stream, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D stream hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, so, well, yeah, it's been a weird season. I mean, it started off quite well, really. We played really well against Arsenal. We absolutely battered them. We could have won, probably should have won if we were a little bit more clinical. But we ended up getting beat. But everyone was really happy with the fact that we got beat by Arsenal because we played really well. But in the space of 2 games, all of a sudden, Ruben Amorim is about to quit. We've lost Garnacho. Everyone's heads have dropped. Bruno Fernandes is going to Saudi Arabia again. It's just gone nuts. Goodness grief. Even the Wolves that, not Wolverhampton Wanderers, but I'm talking about the Wolves are at the door now. And when I mean the Wolves at the door, I'm talking about the people on the overlap. Check out the Big D's videos. You'll see Roy Keane, Gary Neville talking in subdued tones, criticising everyone and everything, and all of a sudden Man United are going to finish 15th again. Hey, we might finish 15th. But even Ruben Amorim, I mean, he's talking about leaving. And see, the thing is, as ever, the Big D is going to be the calm head in the storm. Because despite all of this noise surrounding Manchester United, remember what the Big D always talks about, and this is a big part of why it's so hard playing for Manchester United, and that is the dreaded Manchester United microscope. So every time Man United have a bad result, every time a player gets bought, every time a player has a bad game, every time anything happens when it comes to Manchester United, things get zeroed in on, things get magnified, things get added. Maybe about 20% of everything, positive, negative, and financial, gets added to Manchester United just because it's Manchester United. So all of a sudden, Man United are crap again, and you'd think we were going to get relegated. And it's ridiculous. But the Big D, as ever, is going to be the calm head in this storm. Now, which brings me on to the first topic of this evening. And that is the Fulham and the Grimsby games. And also this notion of Ruben Amorim leaving. Now, after the Grimsby game, Ruben Amorim said that perhaps something needs to change. Words to this effect. Perhaps something needs to change. And, the club can't change 22 players again. So he's suggesting that it's probably going to be the coach. Excuse the Big D a second. He's got his alcohol freeze. Don't drink, kids. But it's silly. It's silly. And I say this time and time again when it comes to players. Players sometimes can't see the woods for the trees. And sometimes the managers can't see the woods for the trees as well. Fergie was the same in certain areas. But Ruben Amorim can't see the woods for the trees in this instance as well. Because, it was the same with the Arsenal game as well. So Fulham, when we played Fulham, we should have beat Fulham, right? There was one thing that stopped us beating Fulham, and that was the fact that we weren't clinical up front. That's it. If Cunha had took his chance when he was through on goal after that amazing chance created, and if Bruno Fernandes had scored that penalty, we'd have beaten Fulham. Simple as that. We'd have beaten them. The Grimsby game, what lost us the Grimsby game was that bloody goalkeeper again. Quite literally. It wasn't the whole team. If we didn't have that goalie in the nets, we'd have won 2-0. So that was Andre Onana's fault. Not anyone else's, not the team's. And if the team's got a crap goalkeeper in the nets and he lets in a couple of stupid goals, of course the heads are going to drop. Because the defence gives the rest of the team confidence to go out there and attack. That's it. So I don't know what Ruben Amorim's kicking off at. Well, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to be political and he just got a little bit emotional there in that particular game. But it was the goalkeeper. We need a goalkeeper. We need a new goalkeeper. So the Grimsby game, it was the goalkeeper that cost us that match. And the Fulham game, it was the fact that we weren't clinical. So there's two issues there. Two very clear issues that Ruben Amorim needs to fix. And then we'll start to kick on. And this is what I mean with Ruben Amorim. You can't see the woods for the trees. The problem's very simple. Now, perhaps he understands one of the problems. Or at least someone understands one of the problems. Because it looks like we're getting that Lamens guy from Royal Antwerp. So Royal Antwerp won 25 million. United only wanted to pay about 17 initially. But now, apparently, Man United are willing to go to 20 plus add-ons, but Royal Antwerp are pressing for 25 or whatever. They're playing hardball and negotiating and all of that kind of business. So we're getting a new goalkeeper. If we're not getting Donnarumma, which is who we should be going for, then we need to get Lamens in because that goal is crap. So, and I'm sick of being nice about the guy. That goalkeeper that we've got, Andre Onana, is absolutely shocking. And it's just ridiculous now. It's beyond a joke. And it's good that we're getting out there and getting someone. And I think he'll be gone this summer anyway. We'll get that Lamens guy in. Bayinder's a good backup, but that'll do. Get Lamens in and ship Andre Onana off to Turkey or to Saudi Arabia because I think there's 4 days left for the English transfer window. But after that, the Turkish teams and the Saudi teams can still buy players, so you can ship him off there. In fact, just send him there for now. As long as they pay his wages, I don't even care if we get any money for him. It's just time that he goes because I'm sick to death of the incompetency of that goalkeeper in them nets. And it is what it is. Simple as that. It is what it is. I can see a few people have talked in the chat there. The big deal. Get to the chat in just a quick second while he keeps this chain of thought. He's on a roll here. He is. But anyway, so Ruben Amorim. Now, the second issue is he needs to figure out how to get that team scoring goals. And here's the thing. This isn't rocket science either. He's got his best attacking player playing in central midfield. Bruno Fernandes, whether you like him as a captain or not, is still our best He's still our best player, full stop. But he's also specifically our best attacking player. So he needs to be in one of those front three positions. And ideally, if we're going to ease Benjamin Sesko into the team, we play Mbeumo, Cunha and Fernandes in just let them have a free roll up front. That'll do. You don't stifle players like Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes and Matthias Cunha. They're too creative. You just keep a solid foundation in defence, a solid foundation in midfield, and athletic wing-backs, and just, keep them structured, nice and organised so they know what they're doing and all of that. But they're all designed to support the front three who should be given a free roll. Just like what Fergie used to do with Rooney, Tevez and Ronaldo. You don't coach those kinds of players. You just put them on the pitch and say to them, goals and assists. And press. That's it. Just say that. You three lads, goals, assists, and when you don't have the ball, press. That's all I want. I don't want you defending. I don't want you in the box when they've got a corner. I just want you as close to the opposition box as humanly possible without being onside. It's not rocket science. It's football. We're not putting a man on Mars. We're not building a Tesla. We're not doing any AI programming. Even that's not as... do you know what? I'm not even going to go down there. Anyway, that's all he needs to do. Fix the goalkeeper and get that team scoring. And once that happens, then the confidence will come, and then the team will just start playing better and better and better. The points will come, and then it just starts to compound, and we'll climb the table, and away we go. But the Burnley match at the weekend is going to be, I think, crunch time for Ruben Amorim. He needs a strong result against Burnley. He does. Now, it might be a case of we're still just starting to grease our wheels for the season, and then eventually, hopefully, things will kick in. And maybe most teams are like this, but because it's Man United, the dreaded Man United microscope kicks in, and then obviously, things are blown out of proportion, and etc., etc., etc. So, if we don't beat Burnley at Old Trafford, I think it's going to be 100% knives out for Ruben Amorim from that point on, because we've got City after that, and then we've got Chelsea, and then it's just going to get ridiculous. So yeah. I mean, that's that on that front. But yeah, let's have a little look at the chats. Let's see who says what. Sean Knowles, they need to stop the Chuckle Brothers football at the back to get the ball forward. Yeah, fair enough. They've got the third Chuckle Brother in the nets. Linda Cooney, is this story about Amorim only clickbait? Amorim only? No, we're going to talk about various other things, Linda. Amorim to quit United. There's a question mark there, clickbait. But this is in the news. This is on Sky Sports. Potentially, he could quit. But Linda, you're welcome to the Big D streams, or should I say the late stream with the Big D. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe. You are always welcome. Judecio, quick fire. I don't give a F-U-C-K. Leave my club now. Quit fire. I don't give. Quit fire. Leave. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about Ruben Amorim. Fair enough. I mean, I don't want him to go. No, I'm sick of the manager merry-go-round. I've been a Man United fan for 35 years, right? And for 25 years of that, we only ever had one manager. And then how many managers we had since then? About 8 or something? I've lost count. But I'm sick to death of it. I want to see United play consistently in the same system and then just start to build something and just stick with Ruben Amorim. Quite frankly, we should have kept Ollie. Ollie's been the best manager that we've had. And the first sign of things going south, they sacked him, which was shocking. But the team that he would have had, if we'd stuck by him, because he'd have got us through that little dark patch that he went through towards the end there with Ronaldo and all of that business. We had a good side back then. But hey-ho, But yeah, we need to keep Amorim. But so all this nonsense of Ruben Amorim coming out suggesting that he might quit is a little bit concerning, because it's like, come on, Rubes. You wanted the job, didn't you? You've got the job. You've got all your players. You've got rid of the players that you didn't want. Knuckle in. You wanted this. Take it on the chin. Move forward. But hey-ho. Youssef Dikech. Oh, yes, I remember you, Youssef. You are a regular on my stream. Welcome back, my friend. And just a shout out to Shan as well. I believe we've spoken before, so you guys are always welcome on the Big D streams. Or should I say the late stream with the Big D? Onana wants to stay, Youssef. Well, it's so what? I want to play for Man United, but it doesn't like they're going to let me play. So Onana shouldn't be allowed to play anymore because he's crap. He might want to stay, but he might not have any choice, really, because Hojlund wants to stay. and Hojlund's a better footballer than Andre Onana. To be honest, I'd rather have Rasmus Hojlund in the nets at this point. So get him. Well, we'll talk about Rasmus Hojlund in just a minute, but I'd rather have Rasmus Hojlund in the nets than Andre Onana at this point, so it's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, thank you for those comments, guys. Remember, you guys who are watching, if there's anything on your mind, if there's something bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, so tonight we're also going to be talking about Garnacho to Chelsea, Rasmus Hojlund potentially to Napoli, also Antony potentially to Real Betis, and also the thoughts on potentially Kobbie Mainoo might be on his way out at some point. But yeah, do you know what? We're going to go straight on to the Garnacho situation. No, we're not. I forgot. Yeah, I'm going to read you some interesting stats after the defeat by Grimsby, right? So get this. This is insane. Manchester United's defeat by Grimsby marks the first time in the club's history that they have been eliminated from a cup competition by a team in the fourth tier. The fourth tier. I didn't even know they were that low down. I thought they were in the Championship, but they're even crappier than that. Next one. Ruben Amorim's 35.6% win rate in all competitions is the lowest by a Manchester United manager in the Premier League era. Below even Ralph Rangnick, who was on 37.9%. That is insane. And yes, Yusuf, bring back Rude indeed. Manchester United have only won 7... Manchester United have only won 7 of Ruben Amorim's 29 Premier League games since he's been in charge. That is insane. They are yet to win consecutive Premier League games under Ruben Amorim. Also, they finished last season with a club record low of 42 points in the Premier League. They also recorded their lowest Premier League finish in 15th and their lowest total for goals scored with only 44. Ruben Amorim has taken charge of more Premier League games than he has won points. That's actually quite sad. So, Ruben Amorim needs to sort himself out and get that team scoring goals, and he needs to change the goalkeeper, and then those stats will change very dramatically in the Big D's opinion. But anyway, let's get on to the Garnacho situation. So it looks like we've got rid of Alejandro Garnacho. Garnacho is on his way out. Chelsea have agreed a 40 million fee with Manchester United to sign Alejandro Garnacho. The deal, which includes a 10% sell-on fee, represents the fourth largest sale in Man United's history after Cristiano Ronaldo, Romelu Lukaku and Angel Di Maria. And it's also the club's largest ever sale of an academy graduate. A compromise over Garnacho's valuation had to be reached as United valued him at 50 million, which was more than Chelsea were prepared to pay. United had negotiated the fee up from the initial offer of 25 million and are understood to feel it is a good, pragmatic deal, delivering their largest sale fee for 5 years. They also believe it is a good solution for the player who has been pushing strongly to leave, and it is understood he leaves with United's best wishes. Garnacho turned down offers from other clubs because he wanted to move to Chelsea, and the winger was told he could leave at the end of last season, and he is not training with Ruben Amorim's first team squad. Yeah, so away he's gone. Alejandro Garnacho. I'm not too bothered personally. I don't know what you guys think. Thoughts in the chat. I'm not too bothered because I always thought he was a bit overrated. He had a couple of highlight reel moments. He scored a couple of good goals and he had a good chant, but he just wasn't good enough. he didn't do anything at United that I saw. Even that scissor kick that he scored against Everton, fair enough, it was a fantastic goal, but he was too inconsistent and he couldn't do the basics. What's my glasses doing? And he couldn't do the basics. I remember I was at the opening game of the season, which was Andre Onana's debut. Against Wolves, I think we won 1-0 just. And Garnacho started that game, and I remember, him getting the ball. He could barely trap a ball. He couldn't pass it properly, and he was just crap. So there was just nothing special about the guy. The thing is, you get him in a team that plays on the counter-attack, that has a low block, plays on the counter-attack, then Garnacho would be ideal. But in this Ruben Amorim system, and for where Man United want to go to, I don't think Alejandro Garnacho is... He's not the player that we want to move forward. He's not as good as Cunha. I mean, from what I've seen of Cunha so far, Cunha looks class, and Bumo looks good as well. He just looks clinical. He's got a good goal against Grimsby last night, and he just looks clinical. And he's proven it consistently for a crap team in the Premier League, and now he's in another crap team, so he should score 20 goals. Same with Cunha, but we'll see. I mean, it is a little bit sad, but 40 million for Alejandro Garnacho, that's actually really good. So that means that we've got more money in the war chest, we've got someone off the wage bill, and we've got a potential bad element. And he was a little bit of a whinge bag, was Garnacho. He was always moaning about something, and he was a bit temperamental, and he didn't have the talent to sort of back up the whinging that he used to do all the time. If he's got an hat-tricks every week, then fair enough, he can spit the dummy out and he can complain and and all of that. But nah, see you later, pal. Adios. And you never know, he might do a Cole Palmer, he might go to Chelsea and sort of tear the place up, but I can't see it, to be honest. I really can't see it. Let's have a little look at the chat. Who's saying what? Let's see. Okello Opoko. Is that how you pronounce it, mate? Welcome to the chat. I don't remember that name. You're more than welcome on my stream, my friend. Amorim is not an EPL coach. Let him go to Saudi League. I wish I could argue that, Okello, but it's looking that way, to be honest. But hopefully he can turn it around and he can prove you wrong for all our sakes. Sean, what you saying? Let's see. Get Ryan Giggs in. Get Ryan Giggs in. Yeah, let's get Rodri in as his assistant as well. He could probably play better than most of the current team. Even now, our first player manager. Our first player manager. Yeah, why not? Giggsy. Do you know what? Ryan Giggs would probably play better than Casemiro at this point. Giggs was class. But yeah. Well, I mean, apparently, Giggs is quite a good manager, to be fair. And I like Giggsy. I mean, he's not an angel. I mean, I'm not hanging around with Giggsy. But if he wants to come and take over Man United, give him a shout. Why not? But to be honest, I want to keep with Ruben Amorim for the time being because, well, we're only 3 games in, and let's be honest, did we even care about the League Cup? Really? I mean, it's only the League Cup. We won it a couple of seasons back, and we weren't bothered then. We want a good league run. We want top 4. That's what we want. Even the FA Cup, we won that a couple of seasons back, so I'm not even bothered about that. I just want us to be consistent in the league and play good, entertaining football. But we shall soon see. Bang, bang. Good to hear from you again, my friend, Big D. That is a massive game now on Saturday. I agree. And I said earlier, he needs a convincing win against Burnley going into the international break. International break already? I am sick to death of these international breaks. They are absolutely boring as hell. I'm English. I can't, and we've got the best England team for decades, and I can't be bothered watching them. I just can't. I just want to watch club football because, well, maybe I'll do a live stream about England, keep me entertained. But yeah, Niche fan, I haven't heard from you for a while, my friend. Hi, Big D. Hello to you. Big D, I'm so glad Ineos are not sacking him. Yeah, so am I. It's early doors. Apparently, from what I read on something, I don't know if it was Sky Sports or something, that there is absolutely zero appetite to sack Ruben Amorim at this point. And I should think so as well, because they've spent a fortune buying players specifically for his system. We don't have any wingers now. We've got rid of Garnacho. We've got rid of Rashford. Antony's out the door. Sancho, might as well be out the door. So the only winger we've got is Mbeumo. That's it. So we can't go back to 4-3-3. We could maybe play a narrow 4-3-3 if we brought someone in. Maybe do a diamond. Probably playing the diamond's probably the best way forward from this point. But yeah, so no, and I don't know. The manager merry-go-round, we don't want that. We don't want that. Just let's just see what happens on Saturday and then take it from there. Okello, I will die a strong man. I will die a strong man. Don't die, Okello. Don't do anything stupid, my friend. I want to see you. I want to see you on this chat on a regular basis. Niche fan, Amorim is the best manager other than Pep and Slot. Well, I want to agree. I really, really, really want to agree. It remains to be seen. We shall see. He did really well at Sporting, but it's difficult to say at this point. What else we got? Okello, Big D, thank. Yeah, you're welcome, my friend. Mark Stewart, nice to hear from you, my friend. Alonso played the same system, 3 at the back. He's gone to Madrid, plays 4. Amorim should move his system to 4 at the back. The thing is, Mark. Yeah, fair enough. I think Xabi Alonso. I've got a feeling that he does play 3-4-3, or he has played 3-4-3, but he can also play 4-3-3 as well. And the 3-4-3 can actually morph into a 3-4-3 and a 4-3-3 and all of that kind of thing, sort of naturally, where you can sort of, if you've got a ball playing central defender that can just push up into midfield, and then obviously the wing backs can pull back, and then it's a 4-3-3, a narrow 4-3-3 maybe. But if they've got Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo up front, or Mbappe up front, then they can turn into wingers and that. So, but anyway, I digress. But Ruben Amorim, he only knows how to play 3-4-3. That's the thing. He's even said that in interviews. Even if he wanted to change, he doesn't know how to. He only knows the 3-4-3 system, but he's overthinking the system, because he's got his best attacking player in central midfield, and he's got Mason Mount as a number 10. Now, Mason Mount's a good player, but you don't have him in the number 10 position over Bruno Fernandes, especially when you need to score goals. I mean, Mason Mount has scored goals before, and he's scored some good goals, and he has played well in that position before. But he's never been prolific in that position. Bruno Fernandes has been prolific. Now, Cunha and Mbeumo have proven to be prolific in those positions. So, it's not rocket science for Ruben Amorim. He should know this. Play your 3 most prolific attackers in attack. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I know I'm an intelligent guy, but I can't be more intelligent than Ruben Amorim. Surely. I can't be. He must have a higher IQ than me. You'd think. He's a multi-millionaire professional football coach in the Premier League. You would think he would have quite a high IQ. In fact, do you know what? I'm going to ask my lovely AI assistant what the average IQ of a Premier League level manager could be. Okay, so I want you to give me a rough estimate on what you think a Premier League head coach IQ would be or should be. Tell me why you think that. Just a rough idea. Let's see. It has to be above 120 IQ. Has to be. Okay. So the average person's IQ is around 100, apparently. Professionals in fields that demand complex reasoning often fall in the 115 to 130 range. To thrive as a Premier League head coach, you're essentially managing a corporation. You've got tactics, psychology, PR, analytics, recruitment, conflict resolution, and game theory happening all at once. That suggests at least a baseline IQ of somewhere between 115 and 125. The very best head coaches in Premier League history, thinking like Guardiola, Klopp, Ferguson, could well be operating in the 130 plus range, which is in the top 2% of any given population. And the reasons for this is pattern recognition and strategy, working memory, abstract thinking, adaptability under pressure. Okay, so it says baseline Premier League manager is 115 to 120. The elite innovators between 125 and 135, and outliers with charisma 110 to 115. So let's get more specific. So at least in theory got an IQ of about 115 minimum, you'd think. Now, hang on. We're going to get specific with this now. So, my lovely IQ assistant, I want you to assess as of the 28th of August 2025, taking into account Manchester United's recent results over his tenure up until now. I want you to assess what you think Ruben Amorim's IQ could be roughly at this point, given all of the evidence at your disposal as of August 2025. Do a background check on that. Go. Right. I love having an AI assistant. I really do. It's a game changer in so many realms. And she's saying thinking longer for a better answer. Checking Ruben Amorim's current stats. This is quite a big digression. I've still got loads to talk about here. We're still going to talk about Hojlund, Garnacho. Here we go. But we'll get there. So anyway, Mark, he doesn't know how to play any other systems. Niche fan, what you're saying while my AI assistant is thinking? She's having a good think. I'm glad we're pig of the Carabao. We can win the FA Cup. Yeah, potentially. Again, yeah, and the international breaks are crap, actually. The thing is, Niche, I'm not bothered about the FA Cup either. The only way this team can move forward is if we finish top 4. I mean, it's still early doors, but it's not a good start, is it? Bang, bang. I backed this manager along, but if he doesn't win on the weekend, it's going to be hard for me to defend him from the Amorim Outberg. I'm assuming the Amorim Out Brigade. It's difficult to defend him now, to be honest. Yep, he's staying put. Okay. Bang, bang. And I think the humiliation of last night is more the players, to be honest with you. We need to start fast on the weekend and pop a couple in. I agree on that. I think it was the goalkeeper's fault. Their 2 goals were two savable goals. They were two stupid goals. Like, a better goalkeeper would have saved those and we'd have won 2-0 and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Fall Guy, you should try your Corona with half a slice of lemon pushed down the neck of your bottle. Yeah, I normally have lime, actually, but it's alcohol-free and it does me, so I'm not bothered. Don't drink, kids. Hey, you never know. I could actually get a... hopefully, I should get a nice little sponsorship by Corona. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Cha-ching! Maybe you guys can help me get that. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to put your thoughts in the chat. The Big D reads all of the chat, as you can see. Mark Stewart, is it worth bringing in Mike Bassett? Why not? You can't do any worse than this guy. Fall Guy, ask your AI about the IQ of your average football supporter, please. Hey, do you know what? And Paul Scholes must be about 80. Yes, indeed. That's a good one. Oh, hang on, she's here. But first of all, Soso Priala Abereniboye. Well, I think my reading IQ is about 40 at this point. How will put Onana on goalkeeper? Then it's helped Man United football team. Now, then I have said sale Onana before now. I think I get the gist of what you're saying there, Soso. Onana out. I agree. Here we go. So my lovely AI assistant, here's a crisp, evidence-based guesstimate on Amorim's IQ. Cognitive profile as of the 28th of August 2025 using his Man United tenure to date. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, funnily enough, Ruben Amorim's estimated IQ based on his current tenure at Manchester United is roughly between 120 and 130. And it reckons about 125. So that's what my lovely AI assistant is saying. Now, why she thinks that is systems thinker and a pattern recognizer. His clear, transportable game model could end a 19-year title drought at Sporting. That screams high abstraction and planning. Okay, so it's taken into account his time at Sporting as well. So, yeah. Okay, fair enough. So, he created a system that won the league for Sporting for the first time in 19 years. So, he's a long-term thinker. Okay, so what explains the underperformance at United? Results show adaptation and people management problems and squad construction issues, not a lack of cognition. The media and insiders are questioning buy-in and methods after Grimsby, which points more to culture fit and recruitment misalignments than raw problem-solving capacity. So he's basically saying that the current issues are not necessarily because Ruben Amorim is thick. It's just more to do with sort of recruitment and things going on behind the scenes. And it's just still kind of aligning with what he wants, which is kind of what we've been talking about in the media for a long time, really. Analysis suggests he has tweaked things, but the midfield athletic technical profile can't execute the control he wants. An external constraint that will make any smart coach look dim. So basically saying he hasn't got the central midfielders to do what he wants them to do. So on pure cognition, he still profiles as bright and analytical, so roughly an IQ of 125. Yeah, and it's just more to do with he just hasn't quite got the team that he wants at this point. But okay, fair enough. Now, it does make an interesting point. So if we don't get a midfielder, which is probably going to be the case, then he needs to tweak that midfield and slightly adapt his system. He can still keep the same formation, but he can fix this. And the Big D's got a suggestion, right? First of all, we need to get rid of that goalkeeper and get a new one in, as I've said on multiple times on this stream alone. And then you just need to keep the back three solid, keep the wing backs running up and down, doing what they do. You know, they've been fine as well. And then just have the two central midfielders just sort of sitting. Just sitting. They don't need to do a lot of running around. They just need to sit and protect the back three. So you have Casemiro in there or Ogate. And then maybe put Kobbie Mainoo in there for one of them at each point. And those two players, whoever you put in there, having them just sit there, right, and protect the back three will at least keep a solid foundation. Because if you've got Bruno Fernandes in there, he's going to be running around all over the place. It's going to expose Casemiro. And, you know, they're going to get overrun in midfield if you do that. But if you just keep it solid and just sort of play a little bit more of a counter-attacking style, then it might just work. And then, yeah, you put Bruno up front or as one of the three, and then just say to them, right, you guys, I've got a free role. Just press, score goals and create goals. That's it. That's it. So just get the central midfielders, instead of them sort of doing high energy presses or anything like that, to just sit and absorb pressure and then hit teams on the counter-attack using those wing-backs who bomb forward, particularly Dorgu, because he's looking quite good so far this season. And Mbumo's quite fast. And, well, we might need to sacrifice one of those players, because if we're going to do that, to be fair, we'll probably need a little bit of pace up front, which is why I think we should keep Rasmus Hojlund, to be quite honest. Fall Guy, don't worry about your reading IQ, mate. That's not the problem. Thank you, mate. But I could do better. And would you believe it? The Big D is a professionally trained, classically trained actor. I've been to drama school, the lot, as some of you already know. I've got a master's degree in acting, and I've been an actor for 15 years. So you would think I could read a chat. But hey, nobody's perfect. But you know what? I am going to ask that question. My lovely AI assistant, can you give me a rough idea of what the average IQ of your average football fan is, please? Let's see what she says. Let's have a little look. Fall Guy, the keeper needs to be a sweeper who frightens the life out of opponents. The keeper just needs to be good, to be honest, Fall Guy. Just needs to be good. Stop the ball going in the back of the net. I'll be happy with that. Never mind sweeper keeper and all of that. We bought Onana to be a sweeper keeper, and he's been shite. Excuse my language. This is not that kind of channel. Bang, bang. Look at you, advising Amorim on the tactics. I'm going to start calling you Carlos Big D. I don't know who that is, Big Bang. I don't know who that is, my friend. Okay. Okay, so the global average of football fans in IQ is around 100. And the highly analytical subculture of football fans, the tactical nerds and the stat heads, so to speak, have an IQ of 110 plus. And the UK European match-going fans around 105, up to 105. It's quite interesting, that. It's going to get to a point, though, where the match-going fans, the IQ is going to have to be 130 or something like that, because it's only going to be the doctors and the lawyers and that who can afford to go to the fucking football matches. I've swore again. I do apologise. But you get my point. It costs a fortune to go to football matches now, and Bang Bang knows this. The Big D's dad, he is a season ticket holder, and, well, he's a pensioner. he's a pensioner. He's not going to be able to afford to go there soon unless he trains to be a lawyer and he gets a job at some law firm, becomes a partner. So who knows? Fall Guy, Onana only sweeps the dressing room. Do you know what? That's the best thing he can possibly do at this point. Oh, Carlos Queiroz, bang, bang. All right. Yeah, he was good. He was a good assistant, him. He helped us win the Champions League, that guy. But anyway, I've digressed for so long, and I've been talking for 45 minutes now. Honestly, I don't know where I get this linguistical flair from. I really don't. Or what my dad would say, this ability to talk shite. I've swore again. My language tonight is absolutely shocking. So it is. But anyway, you know what we're going to talk about now? We're going to talk about Rasmus Hojlund potentially going to... Where are we at here? Let me get it up. Napoli, which is sad, to be honest. So this is the latest. Napoli are close to agreeing a deal with Manchester United for striker Rasmus Hojlund. The deal under discussion is a loan plus an obligation to buy, conditional on Napoli qualifying for the Champions League, which is probably going to be likely because they won the league last season. The deal is understood to be worth 40 million, including the loan fee and the obligation fee. Sky in Italy are reporting Hojlund's agent is in Naples finalising an agreement on personal terms, and Hojlund is ready to travel if terms can be agreed. I think it's really sad, this. I still think there's a player there, and I'll tell you what's going to happen. He's going to go to Naples and he's going to absolutely smash it there. And I bet he scores about 25 goals in Serie A. He'll do exactly what Scott McTominay did as soon as he went to Naples. He's just going to set Serie A on fire. And he's a guy that wants to stay, he wants to play, and he wants to fight for his place. I thought that's what Manchester United wanted. They wanted players that wanted to be there. And fair enough, he wasn't great last season. That's fine, fair enough. But nobody was good last season. It was a weird season for everyone last season. And I know Omar Barada has got that philosophy of you've got one, maybe 2 seasons to show that you can do it and then you're out. I get that, but last season should be an anomalous result. And in his first season, Rasmus Hojlund, under Tim Ten Hag, he scored 15 goals. So he should have had this season. If he didn't do it this season, then fair enough. Move him on after that. But Rasmus Hojlund, he's got all the physical tools to do well for Manchester United, and he's got the attitude. He's just a bit thick, and he just needed someone to teach him how to be a number 9. That was it. Okwo Patrick Chigbo. It's better he quit. I'm assuming you're talking about Ruben Amorim there. I hope he doesn't. We'll see what happens, though. So, yeah, that's the situation on Rasmus Hojlund. What do you guys think about the Hojlund situation? Are you sad? Do you think there's more to come from that guy? Will he go to Naples and smash it? Like Scotty T? Scotty T would do well in this 3-4-3 formation. He really would. Play him next to Casemiro or Ugarte in central midfield. He'd be class. And hey, you could play him at number 10. Fall Guy, I wish Rasmus all the best at Napoli. The kid deserves a break. I agree. I can't believe how quickly this stream's gone. I really can't. We've talked about Ruben Amorim leaving. We've talked about the Fulham, Garnacho to Chelsea. What else we got to talk about? Okay, Antony. It looks like Antony's on his way as well. Let's see what it says here. Is anything new about Antony? Well, the general gist from what I've got with regards to Antony is just from various sources like Fabrizio Romano, that oracle of transfer news. And I say that with all love and affection because he is a good source of knowledge and information about transfers. And let's be honest, that's one of the best things about football. It's the transfer market. For you guys who play Football Manager, What's the best part of the game? It's the summer when we get to buy and sell and build our squad. That's always the best part. So yeah, anyway, he's saying that Real Betis desperately want him. They're in the final stages of negotiations. And that's basically it, really. There's no sort of details on specifics, how much United are going to get, whether it's going to be a loan with an obligation or a loan with an option, or whether it's just going to be, a full-on sale. We don't know yet, but it looks like he's on his way out as well. So that is that on Antony. Amorim. Yeah, I know you did, mate. Bang, bang. How much time did Rasmus need? He's not good enough. Oh, how much time did Rasmus need? He's not good enough. You're making a statement. I think one more season, bang, bang, to be honest. I think he needed one more season and then take it from there, really. But he's on his way, so nothing we can do about it now. Okwa, because he's wasting Bruno's talent by playing in the deep role. I agree, Okwa. Yeah, Bruno's not a central midfielder. He's a number 10. He's an old-school classic number 10 in the mould of Alessandro Del Piero or Roberto Mancini or a Francesco Totti or a Rui Costa. All those guys, If he came up in, say, the 90s, even the early noughties, then, he's the type of player that you build a team around. I'm sick, and do you know what? I'm sick to death of these bloody systems and this moneyball football. I am. I'm sick to death of it. I blame Brad Pitt for making that film Moneyball. But I can't blame him too much because it's a bloody good film. Yeah. And the Big D kind of plays Moneyball when he plays Football Manager because the Big D's stringent in his systems too. So, but hey ho, I'm sick to death of it. Why can't they just build the team around your best players? I suppose it's two schools of thought. Okwa, nobody is now creating chances anymore for those attackers. Please check it out. Nah. Yeah, like I said earlier on this stream, just play your best attacking players, most prolific attacking players in the front three. That's all you need to do. That's all you need to do. I tell you, if Ruben Amorim actually has got an IQ of 130, like our IQ, us on this stream, me and you guys in the chat, we must have IQs of about 150 if Ruben Amorim's IQ is 125 to 130. Because we're talking about things which are self-evident. Get rid of the goalie, get someone else in the nets, and play Bruno in the front three. That's all you need to do, and this team dramatically improves. We'll see what happens at the weekend. Fall Guy, Antony appears to be going round in circles, literally. Yeah, I was at Antony's debut at the Arsenal match, and he played really well when he came on. He scored a goal. I think we beat them 3-1 that day. I was in the Stretford end. I had my dad's ticket because he was on holiday with me mum, and he was spitting feathers that I had that ticket. I had his ticket for the Lyon game as well last season, and the Bilbao game too. So Big D gets a ticket from time to time. He does go. He is a match day going fan from time to time. Been offered a couple of tickets this season, but to be honest, I can't be bothered. I'd rather stay and talk to you guys, honestly. It's much more entertaining than watching that shower at this point. But we'll see how we get on at Burnley. I was offered a ticket for Burnley, but alas, the Big D's not going to be there. Bless Ed Zilenu. Welcome to my stream, my friend. Amorim is the problem of Man United. You can't be repeating the same thing over and over and expect a different result. You've got a point there. Doing that is the definition of insanity, to be honest. So hopefully Ruben Amorim has calmed his little self down after yesterday. And he's gone away, spent some time with his wife and his kids, chilled out, had a margarita or two, and realised that he needs to make sure he gets a goalkeeper in and also to play Bruno Fernandes in the number 10 position. and just play two defensive midfielders in midfield, Ugarte and Casemiro. Or even, well, I mean, I know Kobbie's not a defensive midfielder, but stick Kobbie in there. He can be a nice link. He's press resistant, so that's something. He can be a nice link between midfield and attack. Okay? Please, Ruben, hopefully you're watching this stream. If you are, please, thoughts in the chat. Ruben Amorim, if you are watching this stream, tell me I'm talking nonsense in the chat. I'll happily have this conversation with you. We can do a podcast. But alas, I doubt he's watching my channel. Anyway, Fall Guy, did he do his showboating? I'm assuming you're talking about Antony. Yeah, he did. He did his showboating by putting the ball in the back of the net. Have a look on YouTube at his goal against Arsenal that day. It was a good finish. And Antony's main problem was he was bought for 80 million. He's actually a pretty decent player. He was class for Betis last season. If we bought him for 35 million, he'd probably still be a Man United player now because, you know, there'd have been no pressure on him or hardly any pressure, and he probably had done a little bit better and the expectation wouldn't be as high. But it's the same thing with the dreaded Man United microscope. Like, he was probably, at the time, maybe a £50 million player. But there's always that that extra percent, that added percent that teams put on players when Man United are sniffing around because they know Man United will pay it, or they used to know Man United will pay it. But if there's one good thing Ineos are doing is they are being a lot more stringent in the transfer market. And Sir Jim's played a blinder on that front, so we've got to give the devil his due. No pun intended. But yeah, he probably should have been about 40, 50 million, Antony, when we bought him at the time. And if we got him for that much at that time, you know, there'd probably been a little less pressure on him and all of that, and things might have worked out a little bit better and all of that. It was the same with Maguire. You know, he was a £50 million defender, maybe not a 70 million. Did we pay 70 for him? I can't remember. But it was a lot more than what he was actually worth at the time. And, you know, most of the players. And every time, as I say, every time something goes wrong at Man United, you know, you think the team was like relegated to League Two or something like that, you know. So it's just a dreaded Man United microscope. Hey, what's that phrase? Hated, adored, but never ignored. Even now, Liverpool have got a team that is light years ahead of Man United. Man City have been incredibly more successful than Man United over the past 10 years. But guess what? Man United are still the most talked about team in world football. Even Fabrizio Romano knows to put something about Man United in his little transfer videos because he knows it'll get views because no one cares about Newcastle. Let's have a look. Showboating. I know what you meant. Fall Guy, a high price tag brings the worst out in the Old Trafford moaners and groaners. Exactly. Aqua, please, we the fans really need to talk to this Amorim of a man, honestly. Yes, we do. Sean, are they remaking it? Are they remaking it? Onana could be Pennywise, the dancing clown. That is very good, Sean. Do you know what? Big hand for Sean. Big hand in the chat for Sean. That was actually really good. I like that. Keep that kind of sense of humour coming, please. But funnily enough, they are actually making a TV series of it. And it's a prequel, actually. Look it up. And it's got the guy, I forget his name, who played it in the films, them two films, which were really, really good. He's coming back to play it again. So, yeah, it looks really good. Hopefully, if every now and then I drop a little bit of information, nugget about a film, I might start getting some sponsors from films. Who knows? But anyway, I think that's it. What time is it? It's 10 o'clock. I think that's it. Hey! I think it's time for the Big D to wrap this up. Oh, no, I've got one more thing to say. But after I've said this little thing, you better get your questions and your comments in the chat, because after this next little thing, the Big D is going to wrap up and finish his alcohol-free Corona and rest his vocal cords. Because even the Big D is getting sick of the Big D talking nonsense. Very astute, pragmatic nonsense, might I add. Anyway, so word on the street, Kobbie Mainoo is not going to be signing a new contract anytime soon. He's very concerned that he's not going to be playing, or he's not been playing, so he is not happy at the moment. Which is rather unfortunate, because I really like Kobbie Mainoo, and he is a player that has shown that he is a potentially world-class central midfielder. He's better than Alejandro Garnacho, and he's better than Rasmus Hojlund. Kobbie Mainoo is class. He really is class. He just had a little bit of a bad time of it last season with injuries. Hopefully, that season that he had under Erik ten Hag, where he was brilliant, that hasn't gone to his head, because all Ruben Amorim is doing, I think, is sort of saying to him in the way that he says, well, prove to me that you're as good as you think you are. Which it's kind of fair enough. I mean, it's top-level sport. It's like, come on, Kobbie, rise to the challenge. He's just set the benchmark, and he's just saying that you have to fight for your place in the team. And if you do that, then you'll get in the team. Look at Casemiro. He was ousted last season, but he fought his way back. So Kobbie Mainoo needs to sort of follow Casemiro's example, develop a little bit of humility, and he needs to knuckle in, stay injury-free, and work his way back in that side, because there's no reason why he can't play in central midfield. And Ruben Amorim, that was rubbish he talked about in that press conference when he said that Kobbie Mainoo is competing with Bruno Fernandes for the central midfield berth. That is rubbish, because Bruno Fernandes shouldn't be playing in central midfield, as we've discussed at length tonight. So he needs to be back up front. Kobbie Mainoo needs to be given a fair shout in midfield. And if Kobbie Mainoo is going to be competing with anyone in central midfield, it should be Mason Mount. Mason Mount, if he's going to get a game, should be competing with Kobbie Mainoo for that number 8 position, not one of them number 10 positions. So that's the situation with Kobbie Mainoo at this point. So hopefully, Kobbie, someone in his camp sits him down, gives him a good talking to, he gives himself a little shake, and he realises that he needs to knuckle down, and he's not Paul Scholes yet. See, Kobbie Mainoo might have an IQ of 80, and maybe that's why he's not signing that contract. Or maybe he's got an IQ of 150, and that's why he's not, because he knows he can go to Real Madrid or something. Who knows? But he needs to book his ideas up and get in that team, because that team needs to crack on, and it needs to batter Burnley at the weekend, because we can't have another stupid performance like we had last night. But Big D is going to wrap up. Last couple of mentions in the chat. Fall Guy, Romano, the clickbait king, certainly knows his trade, the trade of making money out of nothing. What do you think the Big D does? The Big D's trying to learn from the best there, Fall Guy, I must admit. Okwo, honestly, the man Onana's supposed to be sent to the under-21s. If he's not ready to leave, he should face the same thing with Sancho. Well, yeah, I disagree with that last part. Sancho's got a bad attitude. At least Onana's got a good attitude, and he's not rocking the boat. He's just crap. Sancho is actually a really good player, and he potentially could be a world-class player, but he's got a bad attitude. So that's why Sancho is out the door. But bless what you're saying. Someone should tell Amorim to change his tactics to bring the best out of the players. His is too conservative. Well, he does need to do something. I agree. Fall Guy, unfortunately, Kobbie is a Rolls Royce of a player in a league where Porsche is the norm. Porsches are a good car as well, mate, aren't they? Kobbie is a bit of a Rolls Royce kind of player, to be fair. Maybe, but I kind of know what you mean. Like, Michael Carrick was a Rolls Royce. And Rio Ferdinand was a Rolls Royce. And those kinds of players, they weren't necessarily fighters. Vidic was the fighter. Owen Hargreaves or a Roy Keane, they were fighters, Maybe, just maybe, Ruben Amorim just likes fighters. Maybe that's it, because in midfield anyway, or maybe the Big D's just talking nonsense, because we've got a few Rolls Royce players actually playing under Ruben Amorim. Yoro's a Rolls Royce. Cunha's a Rolls Royce. I'd say Bruno's a Rolls Royce as well. So Big D's talking nonsense. It's 10:05. The Big D's getting tired. Anyway, do you know what? I've really enjoyed talking to you tonight. It's been a pleasure as always. Shout out to Fall Guy, Bless, Bang Bang, Okwa, Niche Fan, all you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully, and the Big D is not going to be, well, he's going to be back on his stream sooner rather than later, and it's not going to be as big a gap as it was since last time. And hopefully, we've got something good to talk about the next time the Big D talks with you guys. Because, yeah, the Big D has missed you. I thank you so much for talking with me tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure. And the Big D, as ever, will... Oh, by the way, just remember, if you like this stream, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to click the notification button so you know when the next Big D stream hits. The late stream with the Big D. That's what this is called. Any thoughts in the chat? The Big D reads all of the chat, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, ciao for now.